This thing on? Good. Many years ago, the Nostalgia Critic made this really terrible Let's Play of Barts Nightmare, and I'm going to go and point out every single flaw and inconsistency that came within it. Windows Media Player, let's do this thing.
Hello, I'm the...
Huh. Well, this is interesting. I'm going to take a different approach to this. Hold on a second.
Hello friends, I am FaZe of Lupa's real-life counterpart. Now, some of you might remember me for that review I made back in the day about Ride to Hell Retribution. This game sucks! Bang! Ah! Yeah! I'm symbolically destroying a game with my fake novelty sword. And for that review I made of Bomberman Act Zero. This game also sucks! Ah! Ah! Like bring the smackdown on their candy ass. Yeah, those games kind of suck, but we're gonna do this thing called Let's Play. Y'all know about Let's Play, right? Simply put, it's just commentary over video game footage. That's about it. Yeah, there's nothing really too spectacular about it. I mean, after all, just doing a troll bait parody video is a lot easier than making a Let's Play, right? Now, I know there's a lot of really terrible licensed video games out there, especially some that the AVGN might have covered. Thankfully, I'm covering one of the better ones. Here's Barts Nightmare for the Sega Genesis.
By the way, this is also on my Volume 3 DVD. Be sure to visit my store afterwards and buy a t-shirt. And don't forget to donate to my Patreon that I don't have set up yet. Anyways, the game. Here's, starting the game. We start off with Bart Simpson falling into an interdimensional portal. Nice title card. The game starts off with Bart Simpson doing his homework, and then he falls asleep, and, the entire game takes place in a dream. This is actually a pretty safe idea to base a video game off of. I mean, it's not like Bart Simpson, it's not like Bart vs. the Space Mutants where he's like preventing aliens from taking over the world by coloring things purple. And then he falls. The end. Yeah, way to fall there, Neptune. And here we go. Now you better get used to this overworld because you'll be spending like 90% of the entire game here. The purpose is to get this piece of paper, or try to jump into this piece of paper, and partake in a bunch of minigames. So, here we go. The first paper is pretty simple. The doors are color-coded for your convenience. And now I'm gonna stop acting like a YouTube partner. I'm actually gonna give out some useful advice for these games. Simply grab yourself a hammer and hug the top part of the screen. Now, due to this game's collision detection, the enemies will not hurt you as long as you're hugging the top of the screen. So, you can just rain hellfire down there, and, you know, there are other weapons out there, but your best bet is the hammer.
Here we go,
You want to get some extra health back or get an extra life? Simply smack a light bulb. And if you want to change back to the hammer, simply take damage. But make sure you do it from enemies that actually do damage to you, not the ones that one-shot you. I mean, if you get one-shotted by an enemy, you're kind of fucked until you can get another weapon. This might come into play in certain sections, like the attic part, which I'm about to show you. It's best you get the hammer for that part. Grab a hammer and quickly go to the top part of the screen, because all these enemies will one-shot you. And as you might know, if you get one-shotted, you lose your weapon. So unless you know how to use the plunger gun, your best bet is to stay up here and hold out the hammer button until all the enemies die. It's the safe way to do things. Wait, why am I acting all reckless here? Oh right, I forgot! The cola cans are a weapon. Unfortunately, they're kind of terrible, so just stick with the hammer and stay at the top of the screen, right here, and eventually the piece of paper will come towards you. Paper got! Yay. So the goal of this game is to collect all these 8 pages, where Bart Simpson will then proceed to, put them in the middle of a random forest somewhere where the Slender Man lies. But before we can do any more of this stuff, it's on to some more stupid hub world shit. And so begins the Chronicles of Me going from point A to point B, trying to find out where the papers are. Because, you know, if I didn't edit this out, this video will be over 45 minutes. Now, you'll notice that auto kind of drives to the right and to the left in the predetermined pattern. The arrows kind of vaguely tell you where the papers are, but it's not very reliable. If you want to restore your health, sure, you can always, like, blow bubblegum into a blue Z, but not the red ones. The red ones are bad. Or you could find a basketball, and the jumping might getting used to, but if you could successfully jump over the basketball, it produces a skateboard. On a skateboard, and sure enough, your health will start restoring by the time you accidentally slip on one of those cracks, you'll be like, holy shit! Oh, fuck you. Holy shit! My full health and stuff. That's amazing. These puddles are douchebags. If they touch you, you slow down, and their hit detection's kinda wonky. If the Lisa Simpson's fairies like turning into a frog, don't worry, just find old grandma and she'll turn you back. These TV enemies are also fucking douchebags. They come out of nowhere, and unless your timing is just perfect, they'll end up running into you and taking damage. Yeah, these saxophone notes, if you run into them, you'll walk backwards. Thank fuck the papers there. Oh, and these Jebediah Springfield heads, will be the bane of your existence 45 minutes in. Okay, backwards moving. Get in the fucking paper, you goddamn... Wait, hold on a second, I gotta edit this out. Now, if you have a very good editor like Sony Vegas or Adobe Premiere, these programs will allow you to, like, cut certain sections and, turn down the volume of some of the more screamy, shouty parts to make it a little bit easier on the ears. Get in the fucking paper, you goddamn... I mean, I wish a Nostalgia Critic would have known about this. Be sure to save often, kids. Going through a green door here takes you to the BartZilla stages. Now, this part here is pretty cool, but there is one major flaw that I find in this. There's no heads-up display. I mean, this part isn't really too difficult. You can take a fuckload of damage, but how much health do I have during this part? Fuck if I know. I mean, I know destroying the power plants in the IRS buildings get rid of all the enemies on the screen, but do they restore my health? I don't really know. Oh, and for the record, you can fail these sections, but fuck if I know how much health I take. The only way that you can tell that you failed the segment is if the screen suddenly fades to black for no reason, and you're back at the hub world. Bullshit. Even though the game allows you to fire in every direction, including in the background, you only need to worry about the enemies that are right in front of you. And thankfully, the helicopters and jets are flying at the bottom of the screen so you can anticipate their movements. Not so much the tanks, though. But, yeah, I have no idea how much my health is, so just keep going at it until this shrinky fucking thing comes out of nowhere and, you get the page. I don't know how they managed to let me go after I just terrorized the goddamn city, but I guess maybe because I'm so tiny now, I guess they'll let it slide. Oh, and be sure to not kill the shrinky thing. That would be a bad thing. This next segment has BartZilla climbing what looks like the Empire State Building, and, trying to avoid everybody and their moms throwing whatever the fuck they can find at you, while trying to outrun the auto-scroll of death. Thankfully, the auto-scroll of death kind of resets itself if you get hit by this thing, and you will get hit a lot, especially during this earlier segment. And if you fail, don't worry, just go into a gray door and you will go back to this segment. You'll have to go through the previous segment again. Oh, mother, therefore, Freudian dream. Don't stay on the pole for too long. I mean, sure, you can evade mom throughout this way, but it'll slow you down to a crawl, and if you stay for too long, a UFO will come out of nowhere and will kill you if you stay on for too long. Plus, it's really, really weird for the hit detection. You might get killed by the auto-scroll of death anyway. So try to avoid this. BartZilla also has, like, a shock attack. It's pretty useless against everything except for the final boss of the area. Just, try not to get hit by King Kong Homer here, and, shock him, and there you go, you get a page. And that should be it for the, BartZilla segments. Now it's time to spend another 45 goddamn minutes at the goddamn hub world section again. Thankfully, I'm giving you the abridged version of this, because otherwise the video will be like an hour and 30 minutes long. Well, on the plus side, at least the game developers actually followed the source material. What, with the Jebediah Springfield heads being fucking persistent. The game also makes reference to that episode where Lisa Simpson gets gum in her hair by making the Lisa fairies a fairy to bubblegum. And the developers even took note of that one Simpsons episode where Bart Simpson was running away from the developer logos. See? They followed the source material. That's awesome. I also like to point out that this segment here took about 24 minutes to find this paper. On to the next part. Now this part kind of starts you off in a weird position, because you need to grab the plunger gun and then take damage. It will revert you to a hammer, and then use the same strategy as the previous part. Stay at the top of the screen and rain hellfire on your enemies. Don't act too recklessly like I just did here, and you will be fine. So what I'm trying to say is, the hammer will be your friend during this part. Just stay at the top of the screen, and keep firing the attack button until all the enemies die. Be sure to take care of Mr. Bubble. Mr. Bubble is evil. The only time that the hammer is not going to become useful is during this boss part. Fuck this boss. Now, the thing you gotta worry about during this boss fight is do not let these fire fuckers touch you, because if they touch you, they will insta-kill you. What you need to do is use the fire extinguisher and put out that damn furnace. Now, this is gonna take a little bit of a while, unless you have the plunger gun where it dies in like 7 or 8 hits, but I don't like the plunger gun! Anyways, according to the sped up footage right here, this will take a while. Just go in for the kill and then retreat once the firefuckers start showing up, and eventually you will slay the goddamn furnace monster. And that should be it for the itchy and scratchy beat-em-up segments. Now let's see what kind of interesting material I gotta find this time from this Overworld segment. It's around here that Seymour Skinner starts showing up. If he catches you, he'll have to put on a suit. But don't worry, the suit will make you completely invulnerable and you won't be able to take any damage at the expense of everything else. You can't really use any of your items or any of that stuff until the time limit goes up. Or if you, like, jump to a puddle. Anyways, I'm following this Blinky here. He's important. Yeah, you jump over a Blinky while in regular form, you get a pillow. You collect 3 pillows.
Oh my god!
There you go, you just gotta continue. Anyways, I'm a frog now and I just found a page. On to the next segment. Anyways, the purple doors take you to a place called Barts Bloodstream. Now, I know the Nostalgia Critic didn't really cover this minigame in his LP, but fuck it, I'm gonna cover it anyway. 100% completion, baby! Now, anyways, the purpose of this segment is to find these fuckers over here and blow them the fuck up with your air gun. Now, the pointy hat guys do a little bit of damage. They aren't really that harmful. Now, the guys you gotta really look out for are these fuckers tossing grenades at you. They're really hard to see, and they will fuck you up. I don't know how you spell that, but it works. Now, keep in mind that this is, in fact, a dream, which could kind of explain why Bart Simpson is actually swimming inside himself. Oh, and don't forget to collect the Smiley Joe fishing characters. They're important. Seriously, you collect enough of them, and that, you know that barrier in the background there? Yeah, you collect enough of them, you get the page. You see, that wasn't too bad. At least it's a lot easier than that water sliding segment in Virtual Bart. Okay, now it's time to go through this Overworld thing again and make some jump cuts. Damn it, he did it again! Die, puddle! God damn it! You really gotta be precise with that shit. Now it's around here that the mailboxes start to become a little more scarce, and there's a lot more Jebediah Springfield heads to maneuver around. Hey, it's time to hang out with Jimbo and the boys. Unfortunately, this doesn't really do much of anything, but if you hit a saxophone, a Lisa fairy will come and turn them into rats. They don't turn them into frogs, because this is a dream, remember? Now, it's around here that the pages start to become a little bit harder to find. But don't worry, after a little bit of jump cut and editing, we finally made it to the next part. The Bartman segments. Ooh, this will be fun. You're gonna have a very good time if you stick to the lower parts of the screen. Some of the hazards out there will not hit you as long as you hug through the bottom parts of the screen. Like Nelson's hang glider here, he won't hit you as long as you're at the bottom here. And these missiles here, the salvo missiles that show up every now and then, yeah, I know they're trying to hit Jack Skellington or whatever, but as long as you stay at the bottom and, you know, be a little bit patient, they won't ever hurt you. Occasionally, Apu will fly on as magic carpet, and he'll drop this tire iron looking thing, which Manuel likes to call a chutney squishy. No, I didn't read the manual. I never had this game when I was a kid. It restores your health. It's important. Ominous green clouds that are glowing radioactively. I know. I'll fly into them. Maybe they're made of gumdrops. Sherry and Terry, they're easy. You shouldn't have too much trouble with it. Barney is kind of a glass cannon, but again, you shouldn't have too much trouble. But once you get to Smithers and his blimp, that's kind of a different story. Now, Smithers uses these darts that he uses to fire at you. Thankfully, they're in limited supply. Thankfully, he only fires one at a time. And thankfully, you can destroy these darts. Yeah, this is a very good thing, given how each of these darts can take off half your goddamn health. This boss might give you a little bit of trouble on your first playthrough, but don't worry. Once he's done firing all these darts, he'll just fly away. He will not restock his ammo. I mean, you can always let him fly away, or you could get him into a loop like I'm doing here unintentionally. You can kill him off this way before he can fly away. You face off against Smithers like twice, but don't worry, his attack patterns will still be the same. Burns' biplane has like one strategy to this boss. Go up and down and don't stop moving. If you stop moving, there's a very good chance that he is going to hit you. Mr. Burns does not fuck around. He moves really, really fast and attacks really, really fast. Now here I tried to do something really fancy and stupid against my goddamn advice, and I tried to try to attack him at the very last second. Well yeah, just keep moving, keep doing chip shot damage, and eventually you'll take down the bloody red baron. You see, I make joke that's relevant. Shut up. Now 2 more pages to go, and unfortunately, they're the worst parts of the entire game. Hey look, editing! This is kind of what I had to go through every single time I need to get to a page. Lots of aimlessly walking into a direction or another, trying to figure out exactly what I need to do in order to make the page appear. So let's cut to the part where I find the page. Yep, I have deliberately saved the worst for last. Both of these lead to orange doors, and both of them lead to the same place. Maggies Temple. This is one of the parts of the game that I actually fucking hate. Okay, let's attempt this thing. I'm gonna be honest, I never beat the game when I was a kid. You're seeing this right now from this montage of me failing relentlessly. This represents like 90% of all my playthrough attempts on this game. I know you shouldn't land on the flamey platforms, but in cases like right here, due to the isometric perspective, it's kind of hard to judge things. Unless you raise, and that was just careless of me. And oh yeah, you can also do that and jump off the front. And as you might have seen throughout the video, just getting to these pages might take a little bit of a while, unless, of course, you do the one specific thing that makes the papers appear. So, every single time, I always be like, you know what? I've collected 6 pages, that's good enough. Fuck it. Time to wake up, Bart Simpson, let's see what you got. Yeah, I got a C+ during this playthrough, for the record. Technically, that's a good ending, but something always bugged me when I was a kid. I always wondered what it'd be like to collect all 8 pages and get an A+. Thankfully, speedruns of this game exist. I'm gonna give a shout out to LRock617 for being just as curious as me about this fucking game. Oh, and for the record, there's a second segment to this Maggies Temple thing. How the hell does this guy manage to do this?
Perfect!
Damn, you're more persistent of being Maggies Temple than I ever will be. I mean, hell, I was safe scumming as if it was Action 52, and I still fucking suck at this part, so congratulations! And as it turns out, you don't need all 8 pages in order to get a good grade in this game. You just gotta get, the right amount of score. I mean, for the record, this speedrunner, LRock617 or whatever, he made a straight beeline to collect all 8 of these pages, and he ended up getting a B+. I mean, minus! Ah, damn you, script! I remember one of my runs when I was a kid, I ended up getting the exact same grade. I didn't even collect all the 8 pages. I think I collected like 5 of them. A majority of that playthrough was spent like 3 hours in the hub world waiting for the pages to appear. So, yeah. The score does have a good influence in this game. It's almost the end of the video, so maybe I should go back to doing a parody of the Nostalgia Critic. Yeah, there's a score in this game. It influences the endings and stuff. I mean, it's kind of amazing that this game is able to pull this off and integrate the score. I mean, I was never able to beat Maggies Temple, but I still got a good score. I mean, it's amazing that this game would pull something like this off and integrate the score into something vital, like the ending. Especially when you consider that Barts Nightmare was never an arcade game. It was a 16-bit game, and Xbox Live would not exist for another decade. But, you know, I'm good enough to collect all 6 pages. That's good enough. Fuck it.
Now I know this angle here is a little bit disorienting, but I do not give a fuck. I am drunk as fuck, and after this video is uploaded, I'm gonna go back to going out and getting laid. Bart's Nightmare, you're not bad. I mean, sure, you've got a little bit of flaws, you've got some problems that are quite visible, but compared to like a lot of the other licensed games out there, you're alright. However, Maggies Temple, you are an anus. Gah!
Oh, yeah!